The swamp creature. Night falls, and from a dark lagoon deep in the swamp, a horrible monster wades ashore and prowls the night, destroying all who cross his path. After slaying another helpless victim, the evil beast returns from whence he came.
Motherfucker! That scare ya? No? Well then, this movie has a few problems. Sup guys? Jodos here with a review of Halloween. No, not that Halloween. Yeah, that Halloween. The Halloween.
2018.
Happy Halloween, Michael.
Harry Potter! Harry, they're gonna penis your bottom! Don't be scaring him like that!
Let me start off by saying that it's actually pretty good. It's got credibility. It has good atmosphere, it has good imagery, and it just gives you a general sense of creepiness. You leave the theater at the end with your heart beating and you feel like you got something out of it. That being said, this movie has a lot of fucking flaws. Let's go through them. First issue I have is the dialogue. Now, sometimes it's good. Like, there's this one scene with these two cops hanging outside the main house, you know, waiting for Michael Myers, and they're talking about their lunch. And you can feel the chemistry. It's a really nice scene. They have something going there, which was good. But then there's other times when the dialogue just brings you out of it. For example, there's this one scene when they're outside of another house and Michael Myers has killed a bunch of people, been chasing this little girl, and the cops are there and the doctor shows up and he says, "Everybody, I'm a doctor. Go back to your houses." My weird fucking accent, and it just bring me out of it. It's like, what authority do you have? You're a fucking doctor, mate.
So I can kill him.
There's this one scene when they're gathering outside of the front of a house after a bit of a scare when the girl was getting chased by, you know, Michael Myers, and then like her friend gets killed by being impaled through a gate. Really nice setup, and then they're meeting up to talk, and then it just kind of drags it down a bit. Drags down the whole scene. Because they're all meeting up, and out of the blue, the sheriff just goes down to the doctor, who is sitting there kind of startled about everything, and he says to the guy, "Don't move. Don't do anything." And it's like, is this foreshadowing? It seems self-aware because the doctor says, "But I wasn't doing anything." What? So, in some ways, you can tell that this movie was written by 3 people.
Go home! Get out of here! Get inside! Michael?
He's here.
My second issue would probably be some of the choices they make throughout this movie. There's a lot of weird choices. Like, for example, this is one really good scene when these 2 journalists who are investigating Michael Myers, they full on have his mask in their car, are pumping petrol at a servo. But then, you can see Michael Myers killing people in the background while they're doing this whole thing, and it's really well done. It's really well tight. When you're taking notice of everything in the scene, it's so good. It's so good. But then, the girl goes to the loo, and while she's sitting down to pee, a dude walks in. walks into the bathroom, and you can hear him creeping up, and it's spooky, and you can see it on her face. She's like, this is weird. And he opens up the first door. You can hear it. She's cautious. She's cautious. She knows something's up. And then he goes to the second one. He opens it. No one there. Then he goes to the third one. And when you notice that he's creeping up to the third door, a loud booming fucking sound just comes up, like it was meant to be a jump scare. Like, you're meant to understand at this point that it's Michael Myers and it's pretty fucking scary. And that just ruined the whole scene for me. This was such a good scene that they ruined in post. Why? I don't know. I don't know why they did that. It wasn't even a jump scare. There wasn't even anything. You just released all this tension while you were building up. It's like you preed in the middle of sex. Other than those two things, I couldn't find much else wrong with this movie. The characters kinda suck. See, the trailers displayed it as Jamie Lee Curtis fighting back against the tyranny of Michael Myers. That sounds cool, I want to see that. But in the end, we get too many characters, and they're all fucking weak characters, because they either go nowhere, they die in the middle, or they're just bland and unfleshed out. The only good characters I could say would probably be Michael Myers, who doesn't really have much, and Jamie Lee Curtis. That's it. Now let's focus on the good things. This movie has a really good sense of imagery. This movie feels like a Halloween movie when the youngest daughter is running through the woods, pitch blackness, running away from, a murder scene, because she's being chased by this hulking brute with no emotions who can kill kids. He doesn't give a fuck. And then she just stumbles onto like this open area of mannequins where Jamie Lee Curtis has been pulling out her frustration on, been training for this moment to back out onto Michael Myers. That is good. This movie, such good imagery. I could just watch this movie over and over again, probably with the sound off. Second thing, movie has a really good sense of direction. See, like that one scene I was talking about, the servo and the two people running around, filling up their petrol, finding that everyone has been dying and they just didn't know, but you can see it in the background. That's good. And then you can just see their corpses littered across, and the realization that it's like, oh god, Michael Myers is in this service station. That's great. And also, like, if you see a flashlight in the frame, chances are it's going to be used to murder someone. And that's exactly what happens. You see this one flashlight, and you don't take notice of it, but they really focus on it, and then by the end of the scene, it's just shoved up a guy's head, and he's lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. That is also really good. This movie has perfect direction. Not perfect, but really well done, really interesting. They did what they could. You can tell that they had a lot of fun making this movie. This is one really cool way that Michael Myers likes killing people. It's funny, but also kind of brutal. It's really well done. He grabs him by the back of the head and just slams him repeatedly into a wall. And they just show the whole thing, like, yeah, this is happening. Boom! Boom! Well, guys, that's my first review done. I gave this movie about a 6 out of 10. Pretty standard, but they did try, and I appreciate that. What did you think about this video? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was my opinion wrong? Let me know. YouTube sucks at the moment, so nothing really matters. Alright, bye.